it's like they don't tell the truth. They almost like they lie. And sometimes they say what they really don't mean. Like my teacher, sometimes she says, I'm not going to this school anymore. I'm going to quit my job. And then we all seem like we believe her, but we all seem like we start to cry, sort of like. And then she always starts to laugh because she really doesn't mean it. Like the tooth fairy. She isn't real. She never came to me. And some kids say, oh, the tooth fairy's real. She came to my house and gave me $1. But everybody knows it's just your mother. And so I told my mother that the tooth fairy didn't come. And then I told her, kids just say that it's just for real. But then I had to say to her, so she'll understand that it's just the mothers. And then she said, well, I'm not a fairy. And then what do I do with your teeth?
Well, when you invite a friend over, you might say, let's play grown-ups, and then you dress up and play that you're grown-ups and do the things that grown-ups do.
Like when you play a game with somebody, like your dolls, and you're the mother, and you're really about 7 years old. And sometimes boys play like they have a gun with their fingers. Somebody who says, oh, and he only walks. He doesn't move anything else. Like he's all wrapped up with toilet paper.
Well, it's a dead person who is sort of like a monster that's wrapped up in these long bandages. And they come in these little cases. You can find them in museums sometimes. And if you find somebody dead, or if you can even, if your bunny dies, like mine died, you can, but we can't make one out of my bunny because he's been eaten up. You can, wrap a dead person around in these you can buy, long bandages and wrap them around and make your own museum.
It's like a king, and when he dies, they wrap him up in cloths and put him in a coffin.
It's something that helps you function. For instance, while I'm talking now is I'm the sender and you're the receiver. And my is helping me to send out the words and your is helping you to receive them.
Something inside the skull, which is one of the two important parts of your body. As I said, it is located inside the skull, and there are about 2 or 3 parts of it. It is connected to the spine, and is thus connected to the nervous system.
It's a part in your head that will help you think so you're not dumb. Like when Superman flies. He really doesn't fly. And some people say, he can't do that. It's not true. But then everybody says, it's true. But it really isn't.
It's like if you just can't do something, it's like you can't. Nobody can. It's like something that just nobody can do. Like nobody can count to infinity. And nobody can knock down a building with one fist, not using any help.
Oh, that's easy. Somebody might say, I'll bet you I can jump from China to the United States. And that's... that's no way. No way. Somebody might say, I could become as small as your pinky finger. That's... And you cannot turn your head all the way around. And you cannot punch a hole through the wall unless you're Superman. Unless you want to kill yourself. You really... There are a lot of things you can do, but you can't do everything.
Well, means if you go outside and you're a girl with a boy, that means kissing sometimes. Well, it's like when two people play with each other, but they're like a boy and a girl, and they're doing something silly with each other. Means to try and attract men, and like walk around really casually, and give them a stare, a little glare.
It's something that kids might not like, and men like it, and they put it on like bagels and bread and stuff, and sometimes eat it for lunch, and kids don't really like it.
It's a kind of meat that you use, and it's slippery, so it's kind of slippery, and dogs and cats, and they have the in them, and then I think it's red, and they use it to put it in pate and stuff. It's a part of your body, and sometimes you eat it of a chicken or cow, and it helps you digest food, and it's good from chicken if you fry it. It's very good. And some people think it's yucky because of the name. Yes, my dad says, boy, I wanna just do stuff like that. She jumps up, and she films, and she's like a girl that just has like Superman, but a girl. And she saves people from places, and my dad says, I want to have her for my girlfriend. I like her. And I say, be quiet, Dad, because you already got one and you're going to have her. And he says, boy, I don't know. And I say, then why do you marry her?
Well, I didn't know her today, or the day we got married. She just jumps up and jumps down, and she films lots of movies, and she gets out of the swimming pools and commercials and lots of stuff. She's an actor.
She looks like a lady with a bathing suit on, with a star right in the middle, with stripes. An American bird, I think.
She is a superhero who has incredible strength, and in the movie she's very pretty, and she has a star on top of her headband, and of course she's a and she has a magic lasso that can force people to tell the truth.
Yeah, she's a person who gives you, she makes you cookies, and she's nice, and sometimes she gives you money to get something for her at the store or something, and sometimes on her birthday you can bake her a cake or give her a nice present. Well, even though she's old, she's nice, she's loving, and she's sweet.
She is somebody who I love very much, and she buys me stuff and clothes, and she's my mom. Not my mom. She's just somebody who loves me very much, and I love her, and it's fun to be with her because she plays with me sometimes, and she is about 50 years old, and she perhaps she has gray hair, and she sometimes wears a bandana in her hair, and she looks very pretty because I think so, because she's my.
Well, there you are, your father's mother and your mother's mother, and then they help me a lot, and they stay home with the babies when we're out in school. My father and my mother go to work.
Well, I'm one, and you're one, and all the people out in the audience are, and the scientific name is Homo sapiens. I got that from my science teacher. And it's a person, or it isn't an animal or a plant, but it's a person. It's a man or a woman or a child.
It's a more scientific word for person, or and it's an animal, but it's more civilized. It's not savage. And it's a more Pacific word instead of person.
Well, it's a person, also known as a Homo sapien, and they walk on two legs. They are very, very intelligent, and they live to about 70 to 85 years old. They are usually born in a hospital and are starting to probe into outer space.
Some of these white castles, 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 some of these white cast Somebody write somebody right across from you, you're eating your lunch, somebody right across from you loves these cookies and you got these cookies. So like going, here's my cookie, here's my cookie. So like with the person, like they won't want the cookie, right?
You want to do something, but you know it's not right. But you keep like, say there's this, like a girl has like a beautiful watch and she has a lock on her door and she forgets to lock it. And you have to open the locker and steal the watch, but you know it's not right.
Something like a person, like for instance, say my mother or somebody is on a diet, and my grandmother made a cake for her, but my mother doesn't know this, and my grandmother doesn't know my mother's on a diet, okay? So my mother normally open the refrigerator, and she'd be very to eat a piece of the cake, but normally I'll have to stop her.
If Dracula was caught you and he wanted to trap you, he'd lead you into this big sort of cave, and they have chains all over and things that you could cut off your head with and all these other scary things. And then he might chain you to something or put you in an alligator, or put you in a little pit with alligators and crocodiles in them and little creatures and all those things. It's a place where they put people that are really bad or something, and it's a place where it's really dark, and sometimes they have windows, sometimes they don't. And if they do have windows, they have big bars on them, and the is always like real dark, and it has lots of dirt in it, and sometimes there's spider webs and all that stuff.
Somewhere, kings and queens had it in a special part of their castle or palace, and whenever somebody does something against the law they say they have to do, sometimes they say throw them in what the word is.
Sometimes when you're doing magic, you gotta do this word very hard to do the magic, and sometimes you usually do it like when a girl lays down on here, then you cover it and it starts floating up. Then you have to do this word. Sometimes my brothers, I know how to do that string. It goes with strings. But sometimes my brother said that magic doesn't go with strings. Sometimes they really do it without strings. But I don't believe that. And you have to really do this word to make that happen without strings.
Say I was at school and my teacher said, Emily, would you do the sheet of math problems? And I need a lot of peace and quiet to think about them so I would make sure I got them right, because I want very much to get them right, because I want to go to education and I need time to think about them. But if I rushed through them, then they'd be all bad, my handwriting would be sloppy, and it wouldn't be fun, or it wouldn't even be good.
You put your mind fully to one thing, and you don't go like take a break to another thing. You have it straight to like your math or your social studies.
It's when you're in an operating room, and it's like on your hand, on your legs. You just look at them, and there's these just wrinkles. It's You're just so sick of them. You want to pull them up, so you don't see them anymore. So you go to this company, and sometimes they put you to sleep, and they pull it up, and they operate on you, and when you wake up, there aren't any wrinkles anymore. Usually only rich people can do this. Like, they go to this place where they have an operation below their forehead, and to make them prettier, so they can get married or something. Before they get married or after, then they can have like higher cheekbones and bigger noses, and but they can't change their eyeballs.
In case you have like a mole on your nose or something, you want to get rid of it, so you have one of these. It's like plastic surgery, and they put another piece of skin over where the mole used to be.
That's easy. It's a kind of seafood that you can eat, and they live in the ocean. And sometimes they trick people. They trick fish in the ocean. They stand up and act like a plant. When a fish comes along, they always have their claws out like this. And when the fish comes along and goes in there, she goes, snap. Good trick. It's a sea animal that sometimes you eat, and it's maybe you have it brown or maybe you have it red. But red is the frozen, and the brown is the cooked. And sometimes you bake it to eat because you like it because it's fun to eat. And my brother loves it so much, he tried it and he said, yuck. And then after he tried it again, he said, because he likes it a lot.
It's one of like a fish or a crab, more like a crab. You can eat it, it's red. It's like it snaps sometimes, I think. And it has a hard back.
Something like Chinese or Mexican use to eat their lunches, dinners, and breakfasts. They use these certain things instead of forks, knives, and all the spoons. It's something that you eat Chinese food with, and you use it to clutch on the food so you can eat it. But it's pretty hard when you first experience it.
They're two little pieces of wood, and they pick up food with them and put them in their mouth. It's either Chinese or Japanese, I'm not sure, and they just go and eat with them. He was the 38th president, and he's known as, I think he lives on a farm, and something about him has to do with peanuts.
It's a big bird that they have a big cloth in their mouth like this, and it hangs down. They have a baby in it, and they deliver it to your house.
It's a place. It's a little bit like the jungle, and it has animals behind bars. And you go there to see. You usually have to pay like $6 or something admission.
It's something people take when they have a headache or if they don't feel that well, and they usually take one or two, and that's when usually in about 2 hours the headache will go away.
There's something that cowboys and cowgirls wear on their feet. And sometimes they have high heels on the back of them.
Something like when you shoot arrows, you try shooting for the middle thing that's in the middle of all these circles, and the middle one, if you shoot it and you get it right in there, you usually get 100 points.
They wear makeup. They put makeup on their nose, red, like so it looks funny, and they wear hats, and they know how to juggle, and they do flips and do tricks.
Okay, this word means like, it's like, say you have a van and you want to make it look exactly like the scenery in back of it. So you put like a net over it or something, or they like put bushes over it and stuff.
It's something that gets in your hair that you have to scratch it for, and you get shampoo for it or conditioner, and the conditioner or shampoo will take it out of your hair.
It's a dangerous sport, and like there's a ball and it's usually thrown around, and people usually tackle each other in this. And they wear helmets, and there's teams like the Rams and USC and stuff like that.
Well, it's a girl that was blonde hair and went to the Three Bears house and ate all the porridge and went up and first sat on the chair of the little bear and went upstairs and slept in the little bear's bed.
See, when you're on the street, you don't have any more money, or you have money and you don't want to go on a bus. You wait on the street and put your thumb up.
It's a game that you usually play with a little rubber ball, and they have like little metal pieces, and sometimes they're plastic, and you bounce the ball, you pick up as many of them as you can, and then you grab the ball.
There's a handle, and then there's a sharp blade on the end, which you use to cut meat or sausage or steak, prime rib, just tomato, anything. And there can be big blades, smaller blades, and you keep them in a cupboard or drawer.
And they have a story about it, the three little kittens, and they soiled them, and they didn't get any pie, and they cleaned them, and they got some pie.
Well, when you barbecue a steak and it's too red and it just tastes so red that you just can't eat it, and you don't like it because it's just too red.
Something that you stand on, and you stand on it to see how much you weigh. A reflection from you on the ground, from a light, or the sun, or in your house. It's where you see yourself on the ground or on a wall. It's one of the biggest states. It's very hot. Well, there are a lot of rodeos, I think there. It's something you use when you're sewing. You put it on your thumb so you don't prick yourself with a needle.
Well, they have nails over them. They're on your feet, and you use them like to help you walk with.
It's like a heart, and you send someone a card, and you say, "Love Jody," or something like that, and you give them a card with the heart on it, and then you get all these candy hearts.
It's when two people want to get married, but they're teenagers, and their mother and father say they can't get married because they're too young, so they run away and they get married.
Like if you want to do that to an egg, you put it in water, in hot water, in a bowl or a pan, and you put it on the stove so it heats up and it starts to bubble. And when it bubbles, it's doing it.
It's somebody that cleans up places like halls, schools, and sometimes buildings. They clean up the place. They just make everything clean. They clean up trash, things on the floor, and they just make the place clean.